Your nightly news with Rachel Williams begins now.
A Tasmanian man who allegedly set himself on fire after a siege with police has died overnight. The 45-year-old from the northwest was rushed to hospital, suffering serious burns following a standoff with authorities on Bell's Parade in Somerset. A report will now be prepared for the coroner. Afternoon traffic on a busy Tasmanian highway has been brought to a standstill after a ute with a trailer flipped on its side. Police say the driver lost control of the vehicle when it jackknifed on the Bass Highway near Carrick. Debris was scattered along the road, however no one was injured in the crash. Tasmania's next generation of leaders have today met with the Premier to discuss the issues affecting young people. The group of 12 form the inaugural Youth Advisory Council, which will meet with Premier Peter Gutwein over the course of a year. Some of the biggest topics on the minds of our young advocates include climate change and job security.
I'd like to say that a lot of my friends are really quite concerned with the future of our planet.
It's important that in terms of where we head as a state, that we take account of the next generation coming through.
The government says the ideas shared today could shape future policies. Residents on Hobart's eastern shore are advised to be aware of road closures and make alternate travel arrangements if needing to use the Tasman Bridge tomorrow morning. The bridge will be closed between 7 and 9 a.m. due to the Run the Bridge event. Rolling road closures will also be in place along the course between the start line at Blunston Arena and the finish line in Salamanca. For a full list of closures and times, visit the Hobart Run the Bridge website. Thousands have soaked up the sun and the vines this afternoon in the Botanical Gardens at this year's Tasmanian Wine Festival. Over 20 labels from across the state were available to sample, including some vintages rarely served to the public.
Hobart's Botanical Garden is renowned for its collection of local plants and trees. Its doors were opened today to plants of a bottled kind, with the state's wine producers showcasing the fruits of their labour.
It's 160 vineyards, and each vineyard has between, 2 and 15 wines.
Thousands passing through the gate to enjoy their favourite drops and also discover some new labels. Tassie food retailers also getting in on the action, serving the best local produce. The surrounding lawns are mass of wine novices and connoisseurs, all taking advantage of the picturesque weather.
Poolies has been our favourite, and also Frogmore so far. It's been really lovely to taste them. We've just been down to Clover Hill and we've got a rosé from down there, so that's tasting quite nice at the moment.
We really love this venue. We think it's fantastic, and it's great to be able to bring the wine and the vineyards together and the people together to make a great day.
Frogmore Creek opened their vault, with their stall selling a number of vintages, generally kept for just their elite customers.
Usually that we don't show, we only keep it for our members, our Select Club members, and we brought some here, so all available today.
The Frenchman praising the state selection, saying it's one of the great wine regions in the world.
We got the climate, which is ideal, cool night, warm days, and the perfect place to have vineyards, and we are very lucky.
The festival wraps up at 5 p.m. tomorrow. John Hunt, 7 Tasmania News.
It was a popular mode of transport in the 18th century, and today in Evandale, the penny farthing took over the streets as the focus of attention for thousands. The annual national championships drawing in riders from across the globe.
The bikes of a bygone era return to their former glory.
Second one away is the sprint champion riding.
Inked in the veins of riders, the love for the penny farthing is not bound by age.
It's a lot scarier than a normal bike, but once you get into the swing of it, it's really not too hard.
Evandale's world-renowned two-wheeled extravaganza rolling through the streets for the 38th year. It was a familiar face leading the charge in the women's event, Sydney's Liz Ann Fox tearing home to claim back-to-back victories.
They sped it up and made me sprint even harder than I would have liked, so the legs are hurting, and it was a fantastic race.
A horror accident nearly forced the reigning men's champion to leave his bike at home in Melbourne.
It crashed in a race only just under 3 weeks ago and was quite seriously injured.
Defying doctor's orders, Tim Nash pipped a local favourite to retain his champion's crown.
To actually get up and win this is just unbelievable. It's a dream come true.
But the day's spectacle is as much about the fashion as the field sprint. Bonnets, top hats, suits and boots, the flavour for a slice of 18th century elegance.
I bought a penny farthing and I grew a beard and a moe to suit.
It makes you feel part of the Evandale community because everything in here is fairly old.
One of these bikes will set you back thousands of dollars, but penny farthing enthusiasts say once you're on, you'll be hooked.
It really is like riding a bike. They're a little bit slower, but a lot more fun.
Garth Burley, 7 Tasmanian News.
Some breaking news now, and mine processing wastewater has been discharged into the Park River near Hampshire. There is a small risk that the river water will have low levels of dissolved metals and should not be used as drinking water. The water will flow down into the Emu River, which runs through Burnie into Bass Strait. It's the biggest blues festival in Hobart with a wide selection of brews to match. Hundreds of Hobartians flocking to hear toe-tapping performances, which are continuing on tonight.
The sun was shining, the beers were flowing, and the soulful sound of blues rang out from the stage. The 4th annual Blues, Brews and Barbecues Festival taking over the Hobart Brewing Company today.
It's a day for the kids, a day for the whole family, and just a day to come and chill out in the sun, drink some local beers and listen to some really great music.
The music belying its name. The only thing blue about the day was the sky. Local act The Porch Syndicate were first on stage, setting the scene for the rest of the day's performances.
Put some nice energy into it. We do a lot of original songs, so I think that created a sense that, there's creativity going on. Did a few bluesier numbers that we might not normally do, just to keep to the theme.
The festival celebrating the best of what Tasmania has to offer, be it local craft beer, a warm and inviting atmosphere, or a tasty treat. The main draw card being its namesake of blues music, which organisers say keeps people coming back year after year.
It's just one of those diverse genres that you kind of listen to and it kind of resonates with everyone. So yeah, blues all the way.
The event continues until 11 p.m. tonight. Entry is free, but space is limited. Ebony Ablett, 7 Tasmanian News.
A selection of the state's up-and-coming surf life-saving talent have been treated to a skills workshop with some of the country's top iron women. It's hoped the event will inspire the female participants to be the next generation of sports superstars, with a chance to show off their best moves in a carnival tomorrow.
Learning the lowdown before running out into the waves. These keen young surf lifesavers being put through their paces. Part of the 2-day Hydrathon Surf Sports Festival, an all-female event at Clifton Beach.
It's celebrating 40 years of women in lifesaving. So we're down here, we've got 12 iron women, top iron women from the mainland have come down and they're mentoring the girls today and tomorrow through a whole range of activities.
Today's event encompassing a surf sports clinic, with girls learning life skills such as nutrition and goal setting, before putting their surf life-saving skills to practice. Swimming, body surfing and wave riding drills part of the action-packed day.
We want to inspire the girls, we want to teach them things that they might not be able to learn from, it's always good to hear things from different coaches and stuff, so give them something new.
Inspire some of the younger girls to, whether it's in sport or life, just believe in themselves, to be able to do something that they put their mind to and have goals, chase their dreams.
The 2-day festival continues tomorrow with an Australian first all-female surf carnival.
This is the first time ever that there's an all-female surf carnival that's being run. So it hasn't been run in 40 years and we're going to have the first one ever in Tasmania. So age groups from under 9 through to opens will take part.
Tomorrow's carnival will begin with the Iron Women showing off their skills during an exhibition race before the events begin for the juniors. While it's too late to sign up to participate, the public is invited to watch, with the day starting at 10 a.m. Ebony Ablett, 7 Tasmanian News.
It's a long way from the Super Bowl, but Rugby Park in Hobart has played host to the state's annual Gridiron Grand Final. Known as the Tiger Bowl, the league says the sport is growing in popularity on the back of a surge in Australians making it in the big American leagues.
After 10 weeks of blood, sweat and bruises, it came down to 4 quarters at Rugby Park today. The Knights and Gorillas coming together to decide who would be Tasmania's champion gridiron team for 2020. Both sides already familiar with each other in the big clash.
The oldest rivalry in Tasmania, where the Knights and the Gorillas have met. This is their 4th visit.
Founded 6 years ago, the state's gridiron competition has grown from 3 teams to 4, with over 350 participants involved. Organisers say the explosion of Australians playing in the US is driving the rise in local interest.
But with Australians now making Div 1 colleges and high schools, Australians making the NFL, yes, it's easier to sell.
It's a sport that anybody can play. Like, there's a spot for anybody. You've got the big guys who don't want to run too much, and then you've got little fast runners.
It's got the really physical aspects a lot like rugby, in that there's a lot of full physical contact and things like that, but it's strategically a lot more complicated.
The game started with a bang as the Knights scored a touchdown straight from the kickoff. However, the Gorillas would level up just before quarter time, and they'd lead 12-6 at 3/4 time. In a gripping final term, the Gorillas scored a touchdown with 2 minutes on the clock to secure the title. John Hunt, 7 Tasmanian News.
Tasmanian paddler Daniel Watkins has provisionally secured his spot for this year's Tokyo Olympic Games. Watkins finished today's Australian Open Canoe Slalom as the top-ranked Australian in the men's C1 division. He finished 3rd in the event, making his first podium finish. Fellow Tasmanian Kate Eckhart made the final of the women's K1 division, finishing 9th overall. She'll be back in action again tomorrow in the women's C1 semi-finals.
Welcome back. Hobart and Launceston both reaching 22 degrees today. Devonport slightly cooler at 20 and 19 degrees in Burnie. Taking a closer look around the state's top 26 degrees at Ouse, Grove reaching 24, Friendly Beaches and St Helens 23, 21 in Smithton, while Flinders Island, Lowhead and Maria Island reach 20, 19 in Strawn and King Island. Today's satellite images shows cloudy conditions around the north of the state. In the south, the weather remains mostly sunny. A high pressure system to the south of the country is generating a westerly flow over Tasmania. Low level cloud over the north of Tasmania is a result of afternoon heating. Moving to tomorrow, and a high pressure system is moving towards New Zealand and a cold front approaching Tasmania. On the waters, winds 5 to 15 knots, though generally northerly 15 to 20 knots about the east. Swells to 2.5 metres in the west and south, increasing to 3 metres in the late evening. Looking across the state tomorrow, Hobart mostly sunny and reaching a top of 24 degrees. Richmond mostly sunny and 26. Ouse early fog but then reaching 27. Partly cloudy in the north, Launceston 26, Devonport 22, Deloraine 23. A top of 22 in Burnie, 21 in Strawn, Curry 22 degrees. St Helens partly cloudy with a top of 24, Swansea 26, Whitemark 25. The UV very high with 8s and 9s. On to the 3-day forecast. Monday, light showers about the south and east, mainly fine elsewhere. Showers about the Furneaux Islands, otherwise fine until showers develop about the west in the evening on Tuesday. And finally, showers about the west extending statewide during the morning and mostly clearing from the northern and central districts by late afternoon. Further north tomorrow, partly cloudy for Sydney and Melbourne, a shower or 2 for Brisbane and a possible shower or storm in Perth. And it's currently sunny across the state. Hobart 18, Launceston 20, Devonport 18. And that's your weekend weather, Rach.
Wonderful. Thanks for that, Lizzie.